and like it didn't sound like he like had time to really like get to know any of the students he's close with. Um, but it's been really nice talking to him. But my like main source of happiness this week had to do with my band director, Mr. Carter. Band has been really hard for me. I just started this past year on French horn, which is a pretty hard instrument, and like it's hard to get to the level after people have been playing their instruments for like 5 years, and I've got like 6 months on them. Um, so it's been a lot of like challenging stuff because I'm doing the same like tests as them, and I get freaked out about it a lot. And Mr. Carter will sit down with me and just be like, "You're doing a great job, and I'm really proud of you." And there's a lot of like one-on-one work that I'm doing with him and our student teacher, Mr. Gray. And it's not even just about like the actual instrument. Like I've gotten to know them so well, and like I still have that like teacher like respect for them, but like I care about them like friends.
Yeah, no, it's always definitely good when you get to know your teachers because sometimes they're pretty cool people for sure, and when they give you that recognition, it just feels so good. So like I know every Friday when they do the little shout outs, I feel like hoping my name gonna be on there one day.
That was
One
literally me
day.
today.
You
I
got
was
up there?
like, I didn't get called, but I stood by the phone and was like, "Today's my day, guys. Today's my day."
I've been thinking like one day it's gonna be me, you know. But you know, we got a couple more months left for that opportunity, so we're gonna see.
Oh yeah.
Bailey, what's been making you happy this week?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was there's a new Taylor Swift album coming out,
Oh
which
Lord.
is, well, I'm one of those.
That's okay though. That's okay.
So yeah, I'm excited about that, but that's just kind of passing, I guess. So that's like anticipation, excitement. What's actually been making me happy this week is I'm involved in a club called Young Life that we have here, and that just started up for this semester this past week, this Monday. And so we had our first club, and that was just super fun to get back into that routine. That's a club that I really enjoy just because it's such a community based club, and I am a sucker for community. I love getting to hang out with people. So we did Pizza Olympics, which is you call three different pizza places, and you see which one can deliver to you fastest, and you like congratulate all the pizza delivery people when they walk in, and it sounds so silly, but it's just so fun. And like those people working, it just kind of makes them like get a little break in their job, like, okay,
Yeah.
what? So but it's really fun to do, and just get to hang out with people. And so I was really glad that we got to do that, and I'm excited for next week's too. So
Okay. So tell us about Young Life. Like what is that? What do y'all do?
It's honestly just a club where people can come together and hang out. It's Monday nights at 8:08 at Remax most of the time.
Are you enjoying
After
Welcome to the Upbeat, where each week a group of Inkspot reporters take a break from breaking news to share what's been making them smile this week. I'm BJ Dumas. Welcome to the Upbeat, where each week a group of Inkspot reporters take a break from breaking news to share what's been making them smile this week. I'm BJ Dumas, and joining me this week are Lyra Townsend, Terrion Darnell, and Bailey Ferris as we try to put some happiness into the headlines. Terrion, why don't you start us off? What's making you happy this week?
Yeah. Well, I've been listening to like a lot of music lately, and I think music is just something that keeps me really like focused, and so it's like a big part of my life. And this week I've been finding on Spotify, I've been finding a bunch of different like new artists and exploring different genres that I wasn't exploring before, and music makes me happy. So
All right. Well, first of all, don't gatekeep. What artist you talking about?
um, well, the main one this week has been Scory. I don't know if you guys know him, but he makes like a lot of like melodic, like R&B kind of songs, and that's like the genre that I've been staying with. So it's like Scory. There's Yada Bands. I don't know if you guys know him, but it's just a bunch of like R&B melodic artists.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like definitely I've been exploring different music genres as well for sure. Cause I've been listening to a lot of rock. To be honest, like there's this one band that I've been listening to a lot called Super Heaven. They're like I don't even know how I describe them, but they make really good music. Lyra, what about you? What's been making you happy this week?
A few things. Most of them have actually had to do with like teachers at the school. Going off what you said, every day since we interviewed Dr. Brozik, I've gone up to Dr. Brozik and asked him what song he's been listening to. And we've just gotten like closer over talking about that because we talk about music and it's really enjoyable because when he's such a busy guy and like it didn't sound like he like had time to really like get to know any of the students he's close with. But it's been really nice talking to him. But my like main source of happiness this week had to do with my band director, Mr. Carter. Band has been really hard for me. I just started this past year on French horn, which is a pretty hard instrument. And like it's hard to get to the level after people have been playing their instruments for like 5 years and I've got like 6 months on them. So it's been a lot of like challenging stuff because I'm doing the same like tests as them and I get freaked out about it a lot and Mr. Carter will sit down with me and just be like, you're doing a great job and I'm really proud of you. And there's a lot of like one-on-one work that I'm doing with him and our student teacher, Mr. Gray. And it's not even just about like the actual instrument. Like I've gotten to know them so well and like I still have that like teacher like respect for them, but like I care about them like friends.
Yeah, no, it's always definitely good when you get to know your teachers because sometimes they're pretty cool people for sure. And when they give you that recognition, it just feels so good. So like I know every Friday when they do the little shout outs, I be like hoping my name gonna be on there one day.
That was
One
literally
day.
me today. I
You got
was
up there?
like I didn't get called, but I stood by the phone and was like, today's my day, guys. Today's my day.
I be thinking like one day it's gonna be me, you know. But you know, we got a couple more months left for that opportunity, so we're gonna see.
Oh yeah.
Bailey, what's been making you happy this week?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was there's a new Taylor Swift album coming out,
Oh,
which
Lord.
is, well, I'm one of those.
That's okay though. That's okay.
So, yeah, I'm excited about that, but that's just kind of passing, I guess. So that's like anticipation excitement. What's actually been making me happy this week is I'm involved in a club called Young Life that we have here, and that just started up for this semester this past week, this Monday. And so we had our first club, and that was just super fun to get back into that routine. That's a club that I really enjoy just because it's such a community-based club, and I am a sucker for community. I love getting to hang out with people. So we did Pizza Olympics, which is you call 3 different pizza places, and you see which one can deliver to you fastest, and you, like, congratulate all the pizza delivery people when they walk in, and it sounds so silly, but it's just so fun. And like those people working, it just kind of makes them like get a little break in their job, like, okay,
Yeah.
what? So, but it's really fun to do, and just get to hang out with people. And so I was really glad that we got to do that, and I'm excited for next week's too. So.
Okay, so tell us about Young Life. Like, what is that? What do y'all do?
So, it's honestly just a club where people can come together and hang out. It's Monday nights at 8:08 at Remax most of the time. Every so often they'll have like events like dodgeball, tournaments, or they did like kickball last semester. and they do like the paint war. A lot of people know about color wars, so they do that.
Maybe not. Slide a little closer. A pleasant good afternoon to you, everybody, and welcome to Normal Community High School. It's Ironmen basketball here on the Inkspot. Joel Swanson, Ben Kerber, Zach Knox-Doyle bringing you an afternoon game today on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in early February in North Normal. Today, the Normal Community Ironmen take on the Moline Maroons. Should be a good contest here from Normal Community High School tonight. Two really good basketball teams, one in the top 10 in Class 4A, one just outside the top 10. The brackets are out for regionals and sectionals. We're just about to state tournament time, but we got a couple more ball games for the Ironmen to finish up here over the next week and a half. Well, Ben, let's start with you first. Let's talk about the Ironmen. Normal Community has kind of been a little up and down, as we've talked about the last few weeks, winning some Friday games but dropping some Saturday games, and now with a big test here against Moline here this afternoon.
Yeah, they've certainly had some big tests in the last few weeks. You know, they've won some, they've lost some, they've had some, blown leads and stuff, but at the same time, they're rocking a 24-5 lead. They're 9-0 in the Big 12. They're 7-0 at home, so hopefully they can keep that today. That's always a positive. And, Community, they lost to Metamora, which that game, it wasn't a great one for Community. It seemed like they were playing a little too much ISO ball. And, they really seemed like they came out the second half. They weren't really prepared to keep up with Metamora's pace, and they ultimately lost that game. And something you talked about, Zach, in your game, in your article that you wrote, when Community throws passes the ball around a lot more, it seems like they find so much more success. Because in that Metamora game, we saw Braylon Roman score 18 points, which is almost half Community's points. But you said in your article that he's best when he doesn't have to do that. Yep. And I definitely agree with that, because Braylon Roman, I think he's pretty clearly made himself the best player on this team. But when he passes the ball around and all that stuff, it really shows in the score, and we really see a good game for Community. And we saw that in the Pekin game where they won 53 to 34. And, that was good games for Nico, good games for Team, good games for Noah, and that led to an easy win. So hopefully we can see that again today on Metamora. And something to highlight for Community, we were talking about this before the live stream started. They've kind of done this whole thing where they play on Friday and then they do a shootout on Saturday, and they've done this for almost about a month now. It seems like a very long time. And this is probably one of the first times in a while that they haven't had a Friday game, but now they have a Saturday game. So this, I would say, would be a great game for them to, get a dominating lead and just get a big win, because, as the season's gone on, we haven't seen them beat too many, really good teams like Moline is. We haven't seen them beat many good teams by a lot, convincing wins. The Kenwood win, the Rock Island win, those were good. But other than that, we haven't seen the margin has been pretty close. So that would certainly be a great win for the Ironmans here today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Moline knocked off Quincy last night 42-41, Zach, and that has to be part of the equation here. Normal Community did not play last night. Moline's coming off one of their best wins of the year. Had to be a packed environment up in the Quad Cities last night for that basketball game. They're coming off a huge win. We'll see what kind of legs they have here to take on the Ironmen this afternoon.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. They don't really have a whole lot of size. Well, they have a lot of size, but they're right off of that Friday game. So, and we actually aren't, just like Ben said. That's going to be definitely different for them, and I'm not sure if it's a positive or a negative, because it seems like when we start getting going Friday, we test a lot of things out Friday, kind of leading into Saturday. A lot of times it seems like more of a scrimmage for us sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see how Community's legs are going to be, and if Moline's tired, because they just took down the number 3 team in 4A by 1. So a very heated game, just a really hard matchup. And just a little preview from the Moline Maroons. They're 23-5. They're undefeated at home, 12-0. They're just 3-3 away, 8-2 at neutral, and they're 9-3 in conference, which is good for third in the Western Big Six. Their average game score is 64-47, and they have a lot of size, which we will get into after the national anthem.
Yeah, let's turn things over now to the PA announcer at Normal Community High School, Mr. Jason Drengwitz, for our national anthem and our starting lineups.
Conduct oneself in a manner that will allow others to enjoy the game. At this time, will everyone please rise, face the flag, and remove your caps as we honor America for the playing of the national anthem. Now let's meet the starters for this afternoon's contest. First for the visiting Moline Maroons. Starting at a guard, number 5, Braden Freeman. Starting at another guard, a freshman, number 10, Arthur Abbey. Starting at another guard, a junior, number 22, Trayvon Taylor. Starting at 4, a senior, number 25, Peyton Olmstead. And starting at center, a senior, number 34, Vinny Ajambeda. And now for your Normal Community Ironmen. Starting at a guard, a 6'6" senior, number 3, Nico Newsom. Starting at another guard, a 6'4" senior, number 11, Braylon Roman. Starting at 4, the senior, 6'4", number 22, Dexter Niekamp. Starting at another 4, the 6'8" senior, number 23, Noah Cleveland. And starting at center, 6'10" senior, number 33, Jakeem Weber. The Ironmen are coached by Dave Witzig, assisted by Nathan Foster, John Hughes.
Our starting lineups in our national anthem. We're getting ready for Moline and Normal Community. The Ironmen are 24-5. Moline comes in 23-5. Moline picked up their 10th Western Big Six win last night, knocking off Quincy. They are right behind Rock Island for first place. We'll talk about the Western Big Six a little bit as the afternoon goes along. Normal Community, champions of the Big 12, and looking to finish off an undefeated Big 12 season. They're going to take on their crosstown rivals on Friday. That's Normal West, but here we go, and the tip goes to the Maroons here to start this one off, as Moline has the basketball out front.
Man, and they sure do have some size. They have 8 players that are at least 6'5". And you saw right there, Trey Taylor, he's just 6'6", but he got the tip over Jaheim. That was really impressive. He definitely can get up there, and he's averaged 16 points a game in conference play this year, and that's definitely a tough conference.
They also start a freshman as well, number 10, Arthur Abbey. Inside now is Freeman, dishing it off into Olmstead. He'll knock it past the basketball out now to Taylor, their leading scorer on the season, back out front for Freeman.
Yeah, and we talked about that size. Arthur Abbey, the freshman you just mentioned, it says he's only 5'7". So that's an interesting starting move, and see if it pays off for the Moline.
Yeah, and I know Moline's been pretty and he can knock it down. And Moline's been pretty consistent with starting freshmen, actually. If you look back 2 years ago, Trey Taylor, who we're talking about just now, started as a freshman. Now he's a 3-year starter. He's just a junior, and he actually reached 1,000 career points yesterday, so a big milestone from him.
Yeah, he was very instrumental in their state championship run a year ago. That team was anchored by Owen Freeman and Brock Harding, a couple of all-state players that moved on to the University of Iowa. Owen Freeman having a terrific year for Iowa right now. Brock Harding coming off the bench, but they were really the two big guns for Moline last year, but they have not rebuilt, they have reloaded, no doubt about that, for Sean Taylor's club.
Yeah, only 2 seniors on the roster right now for Moline, too. It's insane that they kept this maintain of just success over the years, and they're still a formidable team this year.
And they got 8 returners, actually, so even though they don't have a lot of seniors, they have a bunch of returners.
Now Normal Community moves that basketball around. There's that double team for Jaheim Weber. Inside for Niekamp. Dexter missed it that time, and Taylor's got the rebound. You can see what Moline's going to do in the post right away. They came with that hard double. We'll watch that and see if that's going to be consistent for them throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, and it's already seeming like Community's trying to rush some things. I think they just really need to take their time. As I talked about, ball movement's going to be key, especially against this really great squad that's been on a roll. They've gotten 5 straight wins. Nice block there from Jaheim Weber. Got a fast break.
And as Jean Beta that time tipped it out of bounds. A nice job controlling that sideline break right there. 3-0 Moline has the lead. And we've seen Normal Community play in a lot of these shootouts on Saturday afternoon, and scoring has been a problem for them at times. Off to a slow start, putting the ball in the basket here early on. Under 6 minutes here for the first, and no points on the board yet.
Yeah, and in the game against Metamora just last Saturday, we put up 38 points to Metamora's 47 as Braylon Roman tees up a 3.
Taylor's got the rebound. He'll push the ball into the front court now. Normal Community. This is their first shot of the game as Moline comes back down here. This is Freeman with the basketball. Talked about Owen Freeman, his brother, a year ago, leading this team to a state championship. Freeman is just a junior on this club, and Ben, as you mentioned, a lot of younger players on this team for Moline.
Yeah, they just don't go away, huh? The Freemans, they're always torching Community.
Here's Taylor for 3. That's no good. Rebound, Nico Newsom. Let's see if Normal Community will run here just a little bit. Over now to Dexter Niekamp here, now to Jaheim Weber, and they'll swing that basketball around, still looking for their first points of the contest. Inside now to Noah Cleveland. Back out front for Braylon Roman. You can see they're going to double down low. Little step back by Braylon Roman goes down.
That's his signature move right there. He loves that mid-range with a little step back or a crossover. It's clean.
Yeah, he's really found that as a shot, the last few games, especially in that Metamora game. It seems like they knew it was coming, but there's nothing they could do to stop it. That's really just his shot. It's really hard for it not to go in.
Yeah, he had 19 points, 18 came from 2-point, and 1 was a free throw. So he was just torching them on the mid-range.
Here's Olmstead for 3 out front. That's no good. Good blockouts down low by Normal Community. But Cleveland lost the basketball, and Taylor's going to lay it home. Trayvon Taylor's got his first 2. And almost like both teams kind of feeling each other out right now. Kind of slow tempo here to start the game. Crowd is kind of quiet, trying to get into things here. Really doesn't have that Friday night feel here so far in this contest.
I'm okay with the slow pace. I think Community is doing a good job of waiting for their shot. Braylon thought about that 3 there, but I'm liking the ball movement.
Newsom now, 15-footer, fading. No, rebound tipped around inside. It's going to be the Maroons that pick it up. Here comes Arthur Abbey back the other way. Kick it back up to Taylor, and they'll restart the offense. Moline will be patient. They look for a good shot under Coach Sean Taylor.
When you talk about patience, so Moline, against the game in Metamora, when we played Metamora, they really took their time. And they took about 45 seconds, even a minute some possessions, just waiting for their shot. And it's looking like Moline's looking to do the same thing. Community's staying solid on defense.
Taylor missed the 3 right there. Braylon Roman back the other way. Nico Newsom for 3, and Nico's got it. 5-5 our score. The Ironmen come back to tie at 3:26 to go here, first quarter.
Love to see that go early in the game for Nico.
Yep, and I've been talking about that repeatedly, how Nico's really improved his 3-point shot, and he's became a threat from downtown this season.
Yeah, his scoring has really stepped up here in the last few weeks, and the Ironmen are going to need it here heading into the regional and sectional. Moline just one of the teams that are going to be very dangerous for the Ironmen along that state tournament road. As Jean Beta now has it back up top for Freeman. You can see how patient Moline is. It was a 42-41 win over Quincy. And Quincy's a team that can really score, so they did a nice job limiting the Blue Devils last night and picking up that 1-point victory.
And I think the reason Moline's so patient and why they're always a threat in the playoffs is definitely, like, kudos to their coach, Sean Taylor. He's led Moline to an overall 185 and 55 record, so that's 77% of their games they were winning. And he's actually, in his career, over 650 career wins with 5 teams, and he's taken 3 of them, including Moline, to a state championship in which they won.
His first state title was with Shelbyville all the way back in 1996. That was in Class A ball. Last year was the first time he won with a big school. That was Class 4A with Moline, but coached at Quincy for a while, coached at Moline inside. Freeman up, no good. Well, actually, it went down, but it was going to be called on the floor. So Sean Taylor knows what he's doing. He's really done a great job with this Moline program as well. The Maroons have been good for a really, really long time, but winning the state championship last year was a huge step for them.
Yeah, and even though they've been good for a really long time, it hadn't been since 1951 that they had even gotten top 4 until last year when they won state. So it had been over 70 years that they hadn't gotten top 4.
You can see how hard it is to make it in the top 4 in the state of Illinois, but winning that big school championship, knocked off Lyle Bennett last year in the title game, beat Downers Grove North in the state semifinals. It was quite a run for the Maroons a year ago. Here's a 3-ball straight on, doesn't go. Rebound tipped around. Braylon Roman's got it now, and now the Ironmen with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter can take the lead. Roman down the lane, kicks it out for Connor Smith. He turned it over.
And that was a deep 3 taken by Moline there. I think they might be losing their patience a little bit, especially on that possession because it took so long, and it seemed like they just kind of forced up a shot. That's definitely good news for Community. Their defense has been really solid today.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are playing pretty physical off the rip here. Let's see if that continues through the rest of the game. You know, both teams got really big height guys on the team, so if it gets physical, I think it'll be a pretty entertaining game to watch.
And the one guy that's not too tall, Arthur Abbey, that's just 5'7", Owen Osborne's on him, so it's going to be interesting to see how Owen can do against him.
And Normal Community really has size across the board, except for Connor Smith out there right now. You can see a good closeout that time by Smith. Freeman had a look, but Roman right with him. Pull up, no good that time. Freeman actually a transfer from Bradley Bourbonnais a couple years ago, transferred with his brother Owen from Bradley Bourbonnais over to Moline. That was a big part of that state championship run for Moline a year ago. Inside now to Kobe Walker, back outside for Braylon Roman. Braylon's 3 is no good. Rebound Freeman. You can see where he can get up in the air right there. Pulls down that weak side board.
That might be a redemption game for Freeman now that I'm looking at it. Moline plays East Moline United in the first round of the sectional for the Pekin sectional, and Bradley Bourbonnais plays Pekin. So if they both win, it'll be Moline versus Bradley Bourbonnais. So that might be a little comeback story for Freeman.
Yeah, that's what it was last year as Moline knocked off Bradley Bourbonnais by a significant margin, over 30 points in the regional final last year, as they had to go to Bradley Bourbonnais to be able to do that. So an impressive win for Moline, and boy, Moline had quite a run, knocking off Oswego East in the super sectional. That was a really good game. That was played at Redbird Arena. But what a run for the Maroons at the state title last year.
Wow, for 2 teams that averaged 60 points. Oh, now it's 8-5. He can really shoot.
Yeah, he's got 6 of their 8. Arthur Abbey, the freshman, as you mentioned, not a lot of size, but just imagine how good he's going to be in a couple years, and maybe even how good this Moline team's going to be a year from now with all the returners they have got. Already 23 wins in the book already this year, and they're not thinking about that right now. They're thinking about where they're going this basketball season. Niekamp out front to Braylon Roman, down the lane, he lost it. Dexter picks it up, shot at the horn, doesn't go, and that's the end of the first quarter. 1 quarter in the books here from Normal Community High School tonight, and this afternoon. Moline leads it 8-5, and boy, that was a slow pace first quarter. Boy, did it move fast. Not a lot of whistles at all in that first quarter. I'm not even sure we had a foul in the first quarter. I'm looking at the scoreboard. Yeah, no fouls in the entire first quarter. No timeouts. Boy, that one moved really quick, and Moline leads at 8-5. Thoughts on quarter number 1?
Not what I expected at all, actually. I mean, Moline averages 64 a game, and they've got 8 right now, which is on pace for 32. And then obviously Community averaged 60 a game. We got 5 right now, which is on pace for 20. So this is just a defensive showcase. The defense on both sides has been excellent, like not fouling. I don't even think that's like how the game's being called. Like, it's just been really clean, solid defense. I haven't seen a lot of like physicality, but people are really just staying on their guys. And I think this is good news for Community because Moline's coming out. I think they're going to come out and try to give it what they got because you got they just played Quincy, so they're obviously a little tired. and I think Community's just going to start kicking it up more and more as the game progresses.
Yeah, this is certainly a result of two upper echelon programs in the state of Illinois playing each other. Just really clean basketball so far. And, the shots just aren't falling right now for both teams. But I think as the game gets going, it'll get more intense and the shots will start falling because we got some big playmakers. And, looking at the history, Community and Moline, that's always a good matchup, always exciting games.
Yes, it is. And in the last 10 matchups against Moline, Moline's actually won it 6 games to 4. And then in the last 7 years, or the last 7 games, they've won 4 of the 7.
I know Cleveland had a couple shots at it right there. Neither one of them would drop in. Now Taylor back the other way against Cleveland, lost the basketball out of bounds. It'll head back to normal Community. So the offenses on both sides really struggling so far in this particular contest. And it looks like Moline's going to give Noah that shot. He's been showing he can make it, but they're going to really take away the inside, and they've done a great job of that so far. Normal Community's had a hard time getting anything in the paint.
Yeah, we've seen Noah make those shots. I think he made one versus Moline, but it's pretty inconsistent thus far in the season. So, when you're playing such a good team like Community, that's a bit of a waywire pass there, and it'll be Moline's ball. But when you're playing such a good team like Community, so good in the paint, sometimes you just got to give a little bit. And, thus far it's working out for them, and Community only has 5 points.
Yeah, people coming in might look at the scoreboard and think we're still in the first quarter, but we are in quarter number 2 here. 8-5 our score. Arthur Abbey, number 10 there, the freshman, he's got 6 out of the 8 so far for Moline. He almost has half the points in the entire contest here. He knocked down a couple threes. We'll see which team can really get this offense going first. You see Moline do a really nice job running their motion offense. They're patient on the offensive end. That's one of the big reasons why such a low-scoring game so far.
I mean, this could stay as a low-scoring game. It could just be a defensive showdown. Both teams keep their opponents under 50 a game. I wouldn't be surprised if the pace kind of stays like this, just waiting for their shot. It's a Saturday game, not really like that. Wow, they let it up from 3 there. Marcus McQueen, the junior, from deep. Yeah, he's got a lot of range.
Yeah, watching him in warm-ups, I think I saw him maybe miss 1-2 shots in about 25 minutes, so that's definitely a guy that can't leave open.
Well, the 3 has been the big difference. Normal Community hasn't been able to knock him down, and Moline's knocked down 3 triples already. Owen Osborne will give it a try. That's no good. Nico Newsom's got the rebound now for the Ironmen, out to Connor Smith. Smith on the drive, gets all the way to the cup and lays it home.
Nice, with the pump fake and the nice little Euro step. That was a nice move from Connor Smith. He's been getting more minutes as the season's progressed. At the start of the season, was getting about 8 minutes. Now he's getting 14 minutes a game, and he's been put in the position of being kind of the playmaker sometimes when Braylon's out, and that's what they have him at right now.
I can't even imagine what that atmosphere was like for Moline last night, taking on Quincy. As I mentioned, Sean Taylor coached at Quincy for quite a while, actually, coached the Blue Devils. Came over to Moline after a stint at Jacksonville. Here's a three-pointer that goes down again for Marcus McQueen. That's 4 threes now for Moline, and they have doubled up Normal Community here with 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. 14-7, a little football score on the board right now.
Yeah, that is a football score. I just realized that. But I think Community's going to need to start getting something going on the inside. A steal there from Trey Taylor. He's been really active on the defensive 10.
He went all the way down and he'll lay it home, and Normal Community is going to need a timeout right here. All Moline here, 16-7, the burst for the Maroons here to start the contest. And one of the things that's quite evident, Moline has taken away the paint. They are giving Normal Community nothing inside. The Ironmen are having a hard time getting second shots. Three-pointers are not dropping right now for the Ironmen, therefore only 7 points on the board.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they watched that Metamora game. It seems like all the things that Metamora found success in, Moline's kind of trying to do the same thing, and thus far, it's really working out. Something I also has noticed so far, Trey Taylor, it seems like he's really going after the community bigs, Noah and Jaheim. And, that's something we haven't seen much of this season. Cooper Koch, Merez Johnson, Lathan Somerville. It seems like when we played all of them, they've had to settle for threes. They've had to settle for outside shots. They didn't really want part of, the two-headed monster of Jaheim and Noah, but Trey's going right after him, and it seems like it's working thus far in the contest.
And I think that's probably just how he's been. He's a 3-year starter, so he started from his freshman, so he's had to have that mentality, and it's evident here today.
Ball on the floor right there. Nico Newsom now has it. And the Ironmen, I think they're trying not to settle for the three-point shot as Newsom went down the lane inside. Noah Cleveland put it up. That's no good. Rebound picked out of there by Moline, and nothing going well right now for the Ironmen. We're under 5 minutes here to go second quarter. Queen can't leave him open. He's already knocked down a couple of shots already here. Abbey now on the drive against Niekamp, gets down inside, back out front, and they'll swing it around again. With a 9-point lead, they can afford to be patient here.
And I think they're thinking about taking a 3 probably. That's what they've seen the most success in, is they've already knocked down 4 here today.
As John Beta now with the basketball, guarded by Braylon Roman. Now cut off, and Moline has made Normal Community guard for extensive periods here in the half court, as they are able to pop out and really reverse the basketball through guys that are being guarded by some of the larger players for Normal Community.
Yeah, and that's another thing that Metamora kind of torched Community on, definitely in that second half. You know, in the first half, I think Community was doing a really good job hanging with the shooters, because almost everyone on Metamora is a shooter. But then in that second half, it seemed like they were a little tired from just running around the whole game, and then they were able to get open looks, and that ultimately led to Community's downfall. As
John Beta on the baseline drive, tipped out of bounds. And this is part of what we saw from Moline last year in the state basketball tournament. They held Downers Grove North to 36 points, Bennett to 42. And a lot of that had to do with their offense as well, because they had Brock Harding, who was such a good point guard. He could handle the basketball, really shortened the game down quite nicely for them, and led to a couple of victories where they really held down some very good scoring teams in some low-scoring contests.
Yeah, and Community's on pace right now for just about under 20 at the moment. Obviously, this offense is going to start to get going, but right now, we have not really found much success in anything.
Abby now back over to McQueen, back to Ajan Beta. Corner shot, and that's no good. And rebound tipped around. That was Awar, actually, that took that right there. Deng Awar, the 6'7 junior, gives them some really good size off the bench for Moline. I think Dexter Niekamp's going to have to take that shot for the Ironman. Definitely. He is wide open. He's just going to have to take it and knock it down.
There you go.
Dexter's three up, and he missed it. Rebound tipped around inside. It's going to belong to the Ironman. I think Dexter's just going to have to step up and shoot it if they're going to leave him wide open. It's a shot that he can make. We've seen him make it before, and he's going to have to knock that shot down, because Moline right now daring the 6'4 senior to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, and I just saw Dang Awar came out. I was about to say that's a mismatch for Jaheim Weber, because although Dang is 6'7", he's significantly skinnier than Jaheim Weber. And that's another thing about this team. A lot of their taller guys are a little skinnier, but they can really scrap, and they've not let us get anything inside so far.
Yeah, so far it has been really difficult for the Ironmen inside. Everything's come on the perimeter. We'll see if Niekamp will take that shot, gets down inside, doesn't take it. Ironman very hesitant from that three-point line right now. They haven't had a lot of success there. Now Braylon Roman gets down inside, cut off. Cleveland, they're giving him that shot as well. You can kind of see them backing off about a step. Nico Newsom now, and back around we go. 2:25 to go here in the first half. Only 7 points on the board right now for Community.
Yeah, Ironmen are being very hesitant right now. I kind of think, there we go. Free ball. Oh, they're just not falling for Community today. That's unfortunate. But I think
first foul.
Yeah, I think Community has to be on attack mode right now, honestly, because we've seen on the other end, Moline's just going to hold the ball, pass around, just like Metamora did. So I think you got to go get a bucket, to end the second half. Show them that if they're not careful, then they'll lose this. Moline's not careful to lose this game, because Community can go get a score.
Yeah, we thought that the first quarter was low scoring for the Ironmen with only 5. They only have 2 on the board here in quarter number 2. There's a foul now against Moline, as Jaheim Weber is fouled inside. That's only the second team foul against the Maroons. That's only the second team foul in the game, period, here so far. Now, this has been a very bizarre first half here so far. Not just the fact that Community's only got 7 points on the board, just the way the game has been played here. It's been played at a very slow pace. And, boy, you got to give Moline a tremendous amount of credit.
And Community's played offense like their opponents, just taking their time, really passing it around, which I like. But they haven't been trying to inside very much. And as I say that, Jaheim Weber goes inside and knocks it down. 16-9's the lead for the Maroons now. Nice move from Jaheim there.
Especially with 3 guys over him. You love to see that.
There we go.
Saving it that
basketball.
Time. Moline turns it over. Here comes Braylon Roman back the other way. Connor Smith looked at it for a second. Now over to Nico Newsom. He throws it over the head of a cutting Noah Cleveland. And that's kind of the way the first half has been. The Normal Community a little bit disjointed on the offensive end. Haven't really been able to get in a rhythm at all here so far in half number 1. A lot of that has to do with the Moline defense. Even when Jaheim caught the ball inside, he had 4 Maroon jerseys around him.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing you can say to describe this first half on offense for Community. Just not really. They haven't found their rhythm yet. Pretty disjointed. It looks like Moline's making them very uncomfortable.
16-9 our score. 1:29 to go here in the second quarter. Abby pulls up, no good. Rebound Connor Smith. Let's see if Normal Community gets something in transition. Nico Newsom down on the other end all the way in. He'll flip it up and in. Pretty play by Nico Newsom. And boy, the Ironmen needed that right there. It's 16-11. And maybe the good news is, hey, you were in single digits in this contest for about the first 14 minutes, and you're still only down by 5 points right now with 1:19 to go in the second quarter.
And that's community basketball right there, really taking advantage of the fast break. That's what we've seen the Ironmen doing an excellent job of this year. And that was a great pass from Connor Smith. Excellent finish from Nico Newsom. That's exactly what we want to see. Obviously, being patient on the offensive end is key, but we really haven't seen that rhythm that community usually gets, that just explosiveness. And right there, I saw it. This is a good sign for the Ironmen.
Yeah, you got to make Moline respect you if you're community offensively. You know, you got to show them what you can do, and you got to get the crowd going and everything like that if you want to win, because Moline's just going to hold the ball and all that if you don't. So I think that's a good bucket to get, and hopefully we can get a little run here to end the second half.
Right now, Normal Community Big 12 Conference champions this year in boys basketball, won the Inner City, won the State Farm Holiday Classic. A lot of hardware has come home for the Ironmen so far this year. 9-0 right now in the Big 12, trying to make it 10-0. They'll have to knock off Normal West, the crosstown rivals, coming up on Friday. Nico Newsom's free throw is up, and he got it. Nico's got 6 points now. He's got 6 of their 12 here so far, and now we see Normal Community trying to maybe push the pace here a little bit of this contest. They come out with some full court pressure here. We'll see if they get a good trap. It looks like it's going to be token pressure.
And Nico's free throws have gotten a lot better since the start of the season, too. Started off the season shooting 45% from the charity stripe, and now he's shooting 61%. So really, in about the last 20 games, he's been shooting at about a 70% clip.
Now by Coach Witzig's reaction, they talked about something in that timeout that did not get executed out there. He was not real happy. You don't see a whole lot of reaction from Coach Witzig a lot, and boy, something was talked about there about a foul on the Ironmen. 3 team fouls on Moline now. Normal Community's got 1, and I think, guys, you see Normal Community now picking up a lot higher. I think they want to push the pace of this contest.
Yeah, they're making Moline go a lot faster. Certainly this possession, this is definitely the fastest they move so far in the contest.
Yeah, now they're going to ask some of their bigs, though, to have to really step out and guard on the perimeter, and we'll see how that works out for the Ironmen. It has to be a concern, but down by 4, 45 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Just 16-12 our score right now, as Braden Freeman has the basketball out front, guarded by Nico Newsom. Good matchup right there. Freeman still with the basketball now, and they swing it over to Abby. We'll see if Moline does take the last shot of the quarter. Might be if they get a good one, they'll take it early, but if they don't, they might wind this thing all the way down to get the last shot.
And I think they will, because it was 1 minute and 20 seconds when they started with the ball, so it's already been a minute, and I don't think there's any way they're not just going to wait another 15 seconds.
15 seconds now on the clock, 16-12 our score. Out front now with the basketball is Freeman. Freeman with 6. Freeman with 5 on the clock. Freeman at 4. Turns the corner. Finds McQueen at 2. At the buzzer, it's going to come up short as it rolls around and goes out. And that is the end of a very interesting first half. Our halftime score, Moline 16, Normal Community 12, as the Ironmen single digits in both quarters, the same for the Maroons, but a 16-12 game at halftime. And it's not just with this particular contest the low scoring, it's just the pace at which this game has been played, how fast it is. I mean, 26 minutes to play the first half. No fouls, pretty much running action the entire time, but both teams had a hard time scoring in a 4-point contest at half. Ben, give your thoughts of half number 1.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I'm a little confused right now. It feels kind of like it's like the Twilight effect. Maybe it's just the lights or something right now. I don't really know what's going on. But just looking at the stats here, Community averages 16 points in the first quarter, 14 points in the second quarter, 16 points in the third quarter, and 13 points in the fourth quarter. In a whole half, they didn't eclipse any of those totals. And, you know, Moline's only at 16, so it's really just a defensive masterclass on both sides, if you want to call it. Like we said, no fouls, pretty much no fouls throughout the whole contest, even though, despite the fact that Moline pretty much has 3 people in the paint at all times. So you could say that maybe they could draw some fouls from that, but it's just been great defense on both sides. And Community, I think they need to start going a little bit, go on attack, and make sure the Moline respects them in the way they can play offense, so that they're not really just trying to dribble the clock out like we saw to end the half right there. You want to make sure Moline kind of has to pick up the pace a little bit and try to want to go get a bucket. Because if Moline's just dribbling the ball around the whole game, that's where Community's going to struggle, and that's where they can maybe catch some losses like they did in that Meadowgorn game. last week.
Yeah, Zach, your thoughts on half number one?
Well, I'm with you, Ben. I'm a little confused myself. Like you said, I mean, we've scored 12 points, which is on pace for 24, just 36 shy of our season averages. But we have seen in these games where we play these really talented opponents that there are a lot of close games. Waubonsie Valley, we scored 38. Downers Grove, 35. Thornton, 37, and Metamora just last Saturday, 38. So whenever we have these highly anticipated, really solid matchups, we definitely don't score as much, and neither does the other team, as all those games are very tight games. It's going to be interesting to see how Community is going to respond in the second half, because it looked like at the end of that second quarter, they were able to start getting some things going and started pushing the pace a little bit, but it looked like Moline responded after Nico's and one. They just took their time and took 80 seconds off of the clock to finish out that first half. So I think it's going to be kind of how it was against Metamora, how these two teams are just going to have very different paces. I think it's going to be important for Community to just stay focused, still be really patient, but also force Moline to be a little uncomfortable on the defensive end. Maybe force some things inside, and just, we are bigger than them, so just use our size, and I think they will foul. They started showing when we started going into the paint that they are going to get a little scrappy with 3 fouls in the last 2.5 minutes.
And Moline had a 16-7 lead at one point in that first half. Coach Witzig did call timeout, and after that, well, you saw a much more concerted effort by the Ironmen to get that basketball inside. They had settled for 3 so far in the contest. They just weren't going in. We've seen Normal Community have times where they haven't shot the ball very well from the outside, and other games where they've shot it very well from the outside. We'll see if they get it going in the second half. But right now, Nico Newsom knocked down that 1 3-point shot. Other than that, the Ironmen have been cold from the outside. We knocked down 4 threes, but as the half went on, that started to tail off a little bit for them as well. Well, everything has come out for the IHSA now. Tournament brackets appeared yesterday, and we kind of start setting our sights now on state tournament play, starting with regionals and sectionals. Normal Communities regional came out on Friday. The Ironmen will take on Manuka in the first round of the regional. That game will be on Wednesday, February 22nd. That's a 6 o'clock tip. We'll have that game for you on the Inkspot. Still not sure of what we're doing with the second game, which is Rock Island and Normal Community West. That's at 7:30. That particular contest on the 21st of February, that Wednesday. Rock Island takes on Normal Community West. That will be here at Normal Community. But those are the regional semifinal games. On the other side of that regional, the teams that would advance out of there would play Normal Community, possibly in the sectional if the Ironmen are fortunate enough to get out of that. But Moline takes on East Moline United. That is the 2-6 matchup, and Bradley Bourbonnais and Pekin is the other matchups that are in that particular regional. So you kind of look at those teams: Community, Manuka, Rock Island, Normal Community West, Moline, East Moline, Bradley Bourbonnais, and Pekin. Those are teams that the Ironmen have played before. They know a lot about each other, and those are teams that have played each other. So a lot of crossovers there, but it should be interesting once regional play gets going.
Yeah, but Moline, Bradley, a bunch of good teams that we've played before, and some great, I think whatever happens, if Community makes it to the sectionals, it'll be a great contest. Some highlight teams, Moline, like we said, it's a great game right now. Always close games. We're 4-6 in the last 10 matchups. We've won 4 of the last 7. One highlight game, in 2022, we won 61-44. I think that was probably one of the best high school basketball games I've ever been to. It was just electric in the building. It was just a great game overall to watch, so it's always a great matchup. Looking at Bradley Bourbonnais, too, if we face them, we had a heated matchup in the playoffs for football with them, so I know that the stands would be absolutely packed for that game, and that would be probably one of the best games of the year high school wise. So it'll be exciting to see where Community ends up and how far they can go.
Yeah, and one of the teams that they could possibly play, and again, possibilities, is Rock Island in the regional final. The Rocks were defeated by Normal Community, but all the way back in December, 60-49. But that's a really good Rock Island team. You kind of look at the overall sectional. there are good teams everywhere. One of the strongest sectionals in the state. So, boy, the Ironmen have a rough road just to be able to get to the Super at Redbird, and we can talk about that down the road, but there are a tremendous number of good teams set up in that particular sectional.
Yeah, and like you said, Rock Island is really talented. They actually took down this Moline team this year, 49-47, and then they also played them once more earlier on in the season, and Moline won that one by 4. So there's just a lot of rivalry games in our sectional, in our regional, there's just a lot of rivalry games. So I think it's going to be really fun, a lot of really close games, heated games. And if you look on the other side of regionals, for the Pekin regionals, there's teams like Collinsville and Quincy, 2 really talented teams. Collinsville is 7 in 4A and Quincy is 3 in 4A. So those are really talented teams. The winner of those games, if one of them probably, I mean, obviously you never really know what's happened, but they are the favorites to make it to that sectional championship that hopefully Normal Community will be in as well. So even after, if we can make it out of that, it's going to be a tough matchup for that sectional championship.
Yeah, it certainly is, and no matter what happens in the way this thing kind of plays out, Normal Community is going to have to play some quality opponents. Well, right now, Moline is in a heated race in the Western Big Six. They are 10-3 right now in their conference. Quincy's 10-2. Rock Island's 10-2. And if I saw this correctly, I do believe Rock Island and Quincy still have to play each other a couple of times. Not sure if there was a makeup or what happened with that, but boy, that's going to come right down to the wire in the Western Big Six. If you don't know who's in the Western Big Six, it's Rock Island, Quincy, Moline, Sterling, East Moline United, Galesburg, Geneseo, and Rock Island, all of them. Sterling, Galesburg, and Geneseo are kind of new members to that particular conference. Boy, for a long time, it was Rock Island, Quincy, Moline, Galesburg, Alleman, and also East Moline United. It's been an excellent conference for a long time. They play really, really good basketball. And guys, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to be able to see Wharton Fieldhouse where Moline plays. It is one of the iconic gymnasiums, not just in the state of Illinois, but high school gyms across the country.
I actually got to play there last year I played on JV, so I was able to go there, and it is really nice. It's a great atmosphere, really cool. I do remember banking in a 3, not to brag, but
Okay.
banked in a 3 there.
Did you call bank or no?
After the shot went in, yep.
So it wasn't an intentional bank. It just kind of went how it went.
Well, there's really no way you can prove that, Ben. Maybe I was really thinking about hitting that bank. But anyways, it is a really nice stadium. I think that is why Moline is 12-0 at home. Just that atmosphere, they're used to it. They love it. And teams are probably a little scared or a little, like when they get there, it's a little scary to play there probably because it's such a big, famous place.
Yeah, it's an intimidating atmosphere. Normal Community has played some sectional games there in the past in front of large crowds. Rock Island also has a beautiful gymnasium as well up in the Quad Cities. So they play really, really good basketball in the Western Big Six, and they have been doing it for a long time. Also, boy, they are also programs that bring tremendous fan bases as well. Quincy, the Moline team that we're seeing here, Rock Island. So however this kind of plays itself out, boy, Normal Community is going to play in front of some great crowds in the regional and sectional coming up in the next couple of weeks. Well, here we go. Right now, the Ironmen are just hoping to put some points on the board in the second half. Only 12 and half, number one. 16-12, Moline has the lead. And we'll see if what we saw maybe late in that second quarter, the Ironmen really came out and pressured the basketball. They're going to really try to do that here once again and try to pick up the pace of this contest.
Well, it looks like Marcus McQueen just went down, got right back up. Still no call for Community. They've only committed 1 foul in 16 minutes of play so far.
Yeah, one of the things for Normal Community is they do not have a lot of small, quick guards that we see with a lot of other teams. So pressuring the basketball can be a little bit more difficult for the Ironmen. Have a lot of really tall players on the club. A lot of guys that play down inside the paint, but maybe pressuring the basketball might be more of a challenge here for Normal Community. We'll see if they can get that done here in the second half.
And Braylon Roman, who might be considered our fastest or shiftiest guard, is standing at 6'4", so we have so much size. And nice hustle there from Cleveland.
That's a great play.
Dexter still got it.
Yeah, Niekamp now has the basketball. We'll see if Normal Community does kind of push the pace here a little bit. It was a slow pace in the first half. Points were hard to come by, and we'll see if they try to get out on that fast break. Going downhill now is Braylon
his
Roman.
length.
Boy, they talked about that at halftime.
Yeah. You got to pound the paint. That's what I like to see. Braylon using his length. He's kind of been unstoppable in there. He's started to find his feet a little bit in the paint. You know, he's kind of figured out that he's longer than most opponents, especially the freshmen, the 5'7" freshmen. So he's been in the paint a lot more with the mid-range and layups.
Braylon and Arthur Abbey kind of crashed into each other there. I saw them both kind of wincing after that play. So that was a physical play. I like the no call as he just really went in there and muscled his way over. And, I mean, he's got 9 inches on the guy, so he just muscled him, kind of did a post move a little bit and knocked it down. It's a 2-point lead for the Moline Maroons, and they haven't scored in quite a while. It was 16-7, so the Ironmen have been on a 7-0 run.
Yeah, that's probably been a prolonged run as well. It wasn't one of the spurts there in a minute or so. You run off some points. It has been a long road here now, but look, this is what Moline has done all day. Extremely patient on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's hard when you have the 6'9", something like that. Noah on a small guard out there. It's kind of hard to get the ball.
Yeah, Noah's doing a good job against the 5'7" guard, and they just switched him off back onto the center, Trey Taylor. Well, I think Community's done a good job of keeping quiet so far today.
Yeah,
He's
switches
tried
are
a lot inside.
Switches are tricky for the Ironmen, especially with as many bigs on the floor as they have. Here's McQueen's three, and it's good. That's a big one. They hadn't scored for a while, as you said, Zach. 9 points now for Marcus McQueen. He's got 9 of their 19, and now it's 19-14. 5:21 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and he shot that with confidence, a fade, a few steps behind the line. That's really a pro move right there, if you ask me.
Braylon Roman now inside, back outside. Let's see if they repost him again. They're trying to get the ball inside with that matchup against Abbey. Jaheim Weber now out front. Finds Nico Newsom. Not a lot of movement out there for the Ironmen.
McQueen and Abbey have combined for 15 of the 19 for the Maroons, and they are just a freshman and a junior, so they're both going to be back next year.
And Noah Cleveland looked like he was going to be able to get to the basket right there, but quick hands by Moline again, able to knock it out of bounds. Already under 5 minutes here for the third quarter. Rapidly moving game. And Roman gets stopped inside. Jaheim Weber got it blocked right there by Freeman. Nice job. Here comes Moline back the other way.
Honestly, that's just good defense. Straight up on Jaheim Weber, two
Really
guys
good
on
defense.
him. That's just Moline showcased all day and able to not foul, and that was just great defense from
Good
them.
defense by the Ironmen right there, able to protect the rim. Here comes Braylon Roman heading downhill, and he's fouled from behind. As Braylon Roman is in attack mode here right now in the third quarter. And you got to think that's what the coaching staff talked about at halftime. Hey, we got a matchup here that we like. Let's try to exploit it here in the third quarter, and that's what we've seen from the Ironmen.
Yeah, it seems like every offensive effort has been, try to get to the rim as fast as possible, whether it's Nico driving, Braylon driving, or just feeding it to Jaheim or Noah. It certainly seems like there's been an emphasis on that so far.
Here's now Noah Cleveland. Here's a three. There it is. Second three of the game for the Ironmen. And Noah Cleveland knocks it home. 19-17. You are kind of playing with danger a little bit when you leave the Ironman that wide open. Some of those guys can knock them down. It hasn't happened so far today. Here's Abbey now turning the corner out to Freeman. Ironman now back within 2 here once again. Moline had a lead of 9 points in the first half, which is an extensive lead in a contest like this. Only 36 total points on the board halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, and I think that three from Noah Cleveland's going to open some things up from the Ironman. He's been left open from three all game, and now they're going to have to start guarding that a little more heavily, which is going to open some things up.
Yeah, and foul on Braylon Roman here as Taylor almost turned it over a couple times.
Yeah, and that's something that I said, going into halftime, you got to make Moline respect you, and I think Noah Cleveland did a good job of that right there, because if you put the pressure on Moline to be like, oh, I got to go get some buckets right there, you'll force some bad shots and get into Community's game a little bit more, because I feel like in that first half, it seemed like for most of it, Community was kind of playing Moline's game. They were shooting the threes, which is what Moline obviously wanted, and they weren't really capitalizing on much.
A lot of contact there and no call by the official.
Yeah.
Boy, Noah Cleveland got knocked over on the play. The officials haven't had to call a lot of fouls here so far. Possession arrow is with Normal Community there on the tie-up. Moline takes so much time on the offensive end. It puts a lot of pressure on your offense. You feel like you have to score every time because you're going to play 45 seconds of defense on the other end every single time. So the Ironmen now back within 2 here, 3.5 of the third. Now with a chance to be able to tie or take the lead here in this contest.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Braylon goes for attack mode again here. Looks like he's trying, kicks it out to Noah Cleveland. There's an open Connor
There we
Smith
go.
for
For the
three.
lead.
That's
He got
good.
it.
He is clutch. He is a clutch shooter. We've seen that all season. That's a big shot for the Ironman here.
Knocked down from Smith, and he's going for the steal there.
Yeah, get on him.
Looks like
Queen
he
now
missed his
has 9
defender
in
a
the
little bit.
contest. Back out front, and Moline will start the offense here now with Taylor. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Normal Community has found the lead here at 20-19. Last time they led was 3-2 in this contest. Taylor now looking for the drive, turns the corner, looking for the roll, but nobody there. Abby back out front. This is what Moline's done all game here in the half court. Very patient, moving that basketball around, looking for an opening.
We have not seen a game like this season. We've seen teams be patient, but I don't think I've seen a team be this patient.
As Taylor went down the lane and a foul that time against Normal Community. As you can hear the collective groan in the stands right there.
Yeah, you kind of see Jaheim smiling after that, too. You know, there hasn't been a lot of whistles today. That was a little questionable, but
I think Jaheim might have known it with that smile. Anytime a player smiles after a foul is called, it's pretty much certain that they committed the foul.
As Taylor rolls in the free throw, 4 points now in the quarter for the Maroons, as Normal Community has outscored them 8-4 here so far in the second half. 2:33 to go, third quarter. 20-20 our score. A very methodical, low-scoring game here this afternoon. As Taylor misses the free throw, we might have a game that might end in the low 30s here today, and that
If
might
it
be
even
pick up
reaches
the pace.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Roman down the lane, back out front for Connor Smith.
Well, he thought about it. He's got a guy that's about 6'5" on him. So
Dexter Niekamp down the lane. I thought that was going down,
Yeah,
but a
me too.
foul on Taylor right there. And Niekamp will head to the line for a couple of free throws here. Moline has shot 2 free throws. Normal Community has yet to shoot a free throw so far here in the contest. So only 2 total free throws shot in the entire game before Dexter Niekamp will line up these couple free throws.
You know, Niekamp really has found his rhythm. Nice shot there with the free throw going down, but Niekamp's really found his rhythm as the season's progressed, and he's just been an offensive rebound, the hustle guy that's getting a lot of boards, and I love the physicality, just going right at him and drawing that foul. Here's the second free throw. It's good. 2-point lead for the Ironmen.
yeah, it's good to see Dexter start to attack the rim a little bit more and, you know, take more shots. I think he had his season high, 17. He was perfect from the field the other day, and I think that's kind of giving him a little confidence on offense because, like you said, he does all these things that go unnoticed, but if we can get him going on offense too, that'll be an added bonus.
got trapped that time.
Trey Burnett
able to pick it
to
off
Smith.
over to Connor Smith. Turn around up, that's missed. Rebound tipped around. Nice play by Azubeda to throw it off Braylon Roman right there. I saw Normal Community now coming in with a little full court pressure here from the Ironmen. We saw a trap that time in the corner. They got one on the baseline, and we'll see if they're going to continue to try to push this pace.
For NBA fans, that was a little Marcus Smart-esque there, being able to throw that off against Community and get the ball back for Moline.
Is that what Marcus Smart is known for, Zach? Being able
Well,
to throw it off other players out of bounds?
He had this one time. It was a couple years ago. He just completely laid his whole body out, complete dive, and gets it as he's almost hitting the ground, just throws it off his foot.
Yeah,
You know, speaking of Marcus's, I think someone that could be really impactful in this game is Marcus Russell.
But he's injured.
Yeah, he's out for the season. I think this is a guy that, you know, he could be really impactful for this game because, like you said, it's kind of hard for Community to put pressure with all these small guards on the Moline guards. And I think we've seen McQueen and the freshman, Abby, we've seen them both in the game. I don't think they both started in the game at the same time. So it seems like they kind of doubled down on that slow pace, methodical handling the ball. So someone like Marcus could really help this game, and I think he'll be kind of a detrimental loss going into the playoffs.
Yeah. And you say someone like Marcus, and I think that's what the Ironmen are looking for in Trey Burnett, putting him in here. And we saw him force that turnover just the last play for Moline. So Trey Burnett has excellent defense, and for just being a sophomore, he is a really great basketball player, just really disciplined.
Taylor got
You see
bumped
the
that
defense
time
right
as he
there.
went down the lane. No call, and there's Trey Burnett trying to put some pressure on the basketball.
Yeah, this is one of the smallest lineups I think we've seen all season. We got Braylon, Trey, and Connor in all at the same time. We usually don't get this small, but
Probably the smallest.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess, and we're doing a great job right now, I think.
I'm loving this lineup. The
Abby
community
still
guards are
has
doing
the
a great
ball
job.
here. Almost
There
a
we go.
5-second, and Braylon Roman picked
Yes,
it
sir.
off. Here he goes the other way. Trey Burdett lays it up, and he missed it. Rebound, Niekamp. Dexter puts it up. He's stripped inside. Braylon Roman's
There
got
we
it.
go.
He puts it home.
That was Ironman basketball right there. That's good defense, good offense. We love to see that right there.
A really good job by the coaching staff, though, figuring out the lineup they needed to push this pace, getting those guards on the floor. Now we get a foul by the Ironman. That's a foul you can definitely live with right there. It's an aggressive foul. You're trying to play good, hard defense, and now Noah Cleveland's going to come in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm okay with that foul. Let's see Noah Cleveland. He's going to come in for Jaheim,
like
so
it.
this lineup's even going to get a little bit smaller, just by about an inch, but still just a little bit smaller, and Noah's got a little more speed. I'm liking this lineup.
Yeah.
It seems like it's really working for the Ironmen, and they've held Moline to 4 points since the middle of the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm really liking this right now, and I didn't even look at the scoreboard, but now Community has the lead, so it obviously seems like it's paying off, and I think the energy is just really high in this gym right now.
Here's a three from the right side. Doesn't go down. Rebound tipped around, and it looks like Trey Burdett's got it. Where the sophomore's done a nice job off the bench, and now Community up 4 here with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Inside for Noah Cleveland. Out of bounds. It will belong to Moline that time. Good defense by Freeman down in the post.
Yeah, and that three, that's pretty uncharacteristic.
Uncharacteristic, you got it?
Yep, give it to me. Anyway.
I've been there about 1,000 times, Ben.
Yeah, that's not something you usually see from Moline thus far in this game, so it seems like they might be getting a little uncomfortable from Community right now.
Yeah, another turnover here, and look at Braylon Roman. He wanted the basketball right there. Now Braylon with 12 on the clock. Roman standing out at midcourt now with 8. Braylon now with 7. Dribble drive, gets down inside. Trey Burdett. Burdett at 4. Puts it up, no good over the top, and that would have been a big one for the Ironmen. That would have given them a 7-point lead. It didn't go down. Now Normal Community continues to pressure Moline here, 24-20. Freeman lets it fly. It's going to be Normal Community ball underneath their own basket.
Oh, man.
That's 100% exactly what you didn't want to do in that situation right there. And with 1.4 seconds to go here in the third quarter, look for Jaheim on the lob inside, and they might even use Jaheim as a bit of a decoy because they got number 23 as well who can catch a lob here.
Hey, although that was a very bad pass, he threw it a very long way. I think it went from out of bounds to out of bounds. You got to give it a little respect to that, even though not a very good pass.
I think he's just
Connor
playing
Smith,
football.
3 at the horn. That's off that time, and that is the end of the third quarter. Good quarter for Normal Community. They put up 12 points in the third, which is a significant number in this particular contest. Moline only managed 4 points in the quarter. We head to the fourth, 24-20. It's been a low-scoring grinder of a game here this afternoon. We'll see what happens in quarter number 4. But, guys, we did see the lineup change for Normal Community. It seemed to be effective. The question is, do you stay with that lineup? Do you put something different out there for the fourth? We'll see what the coaching staff decides to do.
It looks like Trey Burdett's sitting on the bench, which would mean he will be coming back in, along with Braylon Roman, Noah Cleveland, Jaheim Weber, and I can't see the last guy, but it is looking like we're going to keep with that smaller lineup, keeping Trey Burdett in there, and I really like that decision. He did a great job on defense, just forcing Moline to just turn the ball over, which we hadn't seen because they were just taking their time, and they didn't really have anything to do. Besides that, they could just take their time. We weren't really pressuring anything. And Trey Burdett came in and kind of changed it all around, forced about 3 turnovers since he's came in the game. And the Moline Maroons head coach, Sean Taylor, was heated after what you were talking about, that quarterback pass that went full court and out of bounds. He was absolutely heated, and his hands just going up and down. And I think with Moline starting to get more heated, their chemistry seems to be going down a little bit. Community really is rocking and rolling right now.
I agree with you, Ben. It was a beautiful pass. It was just poor timing for that particular play right there.
Yeah, and I like that Community is going with Jaheim Weber and Noah Cleveland to start the fourth quarter. You know, with the small ball was working, but at the same time, you do have the lead now. So if you can get in the paint a lot more, that will make Moline even more frustrated.
McQueen's been their scorer, and he does it again. Marcus McQueen, he's got 4 threes in the contest, 12 points. Moline has knocked down 6 3-pointers. That is 18 of their 23 points in the contest. They only have 2 two-point field goals and a free throw besides that. Jaheim gobbles it up inside. He'll go to the line. He's fouled.
Yep, that's what we like. That's what I just said we like to see. You know, we got to get – you have the lead right now. If you can get the ball in the paint, get a foul like Jaheim Weber just got fouled right there, that'll be very beneficial for the Ironmen. But at the same time, on offense, it looks like they suffered a little bit because they got that 3 open from McQueen, which from this contest, you cannot leave him open at all.
And he's got 12 of their 23 as Jaheim rolls it home. Friendly roll here at Normal Community High School. 25-23 our score. The Ironmen lead, 7:28 to go fourth quarter. Jaheim's got 3 points in the contest. Nobody in double figures for Normal Community. McQueen's got 12. Jaheim tried it again. A couple Normal Community players go down.
Oh, no.
Cleveland is still down.
Oh, no.
Hopefully Noah is okay here. A 3 by McQueen on the way. It's good right there. And he knocks down his 5th 3 of the contest. He's got 15 of their 26. Noah Cleveland heads to the bench there for the Ironmen. Dexter Niekamp now enters the lineup for Normal Community. And that was not a good turn of events right there for the Ironmen. Now trailing by 1 here with 7:19 to go in the fourth quarter. But probably the biggest concern is Noah Cleveland on the bench.
Definitely not. You hate to see that, man. Definitely not. After he came back a year ago, I just hope he's all right. Also, something to note, McQueen shot that with confidence, even though it was a 4v5. It's maybe not the best basketball player to shoot the 3, but he stroked it. That was crazy.
I wasn't even
Taylor
watching
picks up
it.
the foul right there. That's Trey Taylor fouling Dexter Niekamp. So that is the 3rd team foul on Moline here. And that's his 4th personal foul. Mark that down at the 7:02 mark of the fourth quarter right there. That's only the 2nd team foul, against Moline. Nico Newsom, baseline inside, over to Connor Smith. Good closeout that time, but Smith pulls up and knocks down a little 10-footer over the top. Connor's got 7 points in the ball game. Normal Community leads 27-26.
I think it was a good idea to sub him in for Trey Burdett right now, because I think you might need Trey late in this contest. If you need him back in, give him a little breather, because he has played for a while. And, Connor can give you that kind of offensive jolt to put you ahead by a few points there. So I think that was a good move to get him in.
Abby now down the lane, guarded by Connor Smith, backs it back out. 6.5 to go here, fourth quarter. Normal Community leads 27-26. It's been a little back and forth here in the second half. Moline led by 9 in the first half. Abby now back outside for McQueen. He has been the man for the Maroons here so far, and they call it out of bounds that time. Off Nico Newsom. Well, I thought McQueen might have carried it for just a moment, got that ball up a little high. Good job by the officials right on top of things there. Moline now inbound it with Freeman down low. Looking for somebody open, and finally Olmsted breaks out of that pack there, and they're going to reset the offense.
Nico's on the red-hot McQueen right now. I think that's a decent matchup for, you see the red-hot McQueen that I did there?
That was pretty incredible, honestly. I like that.
But it's going to be interesting to see how Nico's going to be able to do against him. And it seems like he's a little intimidated by Nico's height. He didn't really even think about a 3 there and just passed it immediately without dribbling.
Now McQueen back out front for Olmsted. Now back to McQueen. They swing it back around here. And the freshman lost the basketball. Connor Smith not quite going to be able to track it down. This might be one of those games where a shot clock would have been beneficial to pick up the pace here a little bit on the offensive end. Moline's done a great job being patient in their offense. Give them a ton of credit. But boy, a shot clock would have really changed this game quite a bit.
Yeah, 100%. I think if there's a way to beat Community, it's probably this, slow, methodical offense and just get your buckets when you can. So I think Community as a whole would really benefit from a shot clock.
Olmsted got fouled down low off the offensive rebound. That's really the penetration, though, by Freeman. He draws the 2 defenders right there, get that thing up on the glass, and it really opens up then that offensive rebound. And Peyton Olmsted, the 6'4 senior now, will head to the line here for Moline. First free throw up, and it's around and out. As I mentioned, I don't know if I've seen a line like this where a team has 5 points from 2-point field goals and a free throw in a contest, and Moline lighting it up from the 3-point line here so far in the game. They've got 7 threes, but have done little to end nothing else.
Especially in high school basketball, because like the NBA, of course, you'll see lots of threes being thrown up. But in high school basketball, there's a lot less 3-point shots. And Moline's just really sticking with the threes and haven't tried much at the 2s except for when they get offensive boards, which isn't very often.
Newsom down the lane. He draws some contact. Good to see them taking the ball to the basket aggressively right there. That is 3 team fouls now on Moline in a low-scoring game. Getting yourself to the foul line could be a difference maker here for Normal Community. And we'll see if Moline is able to keep the Ironmen off that free throw line as Nico Newsom has his 7th point of the contest. You look down for the Ironmen, they've gotten 7 out of Nico, 7 out of Connor Smith, 6 out of Braylon Roman. That's really been the scoring so far. Haven't really gotten much inside from Cleveland or Weber here so far in this game.
Yeah, sticking with our shooters, combining for 20 of our 28 in Nico, Connor, and Braylon.
Yeah, like we said the whole game, Moline's had about 3 guys in the paint on Jaheim, Noah, whoever's in there. So it's kind of hard to get them going. But at the same time, I think it was a great coaching point. It seemed like in the second half, the coaching point was to really get your mismatches like Braylon, Nico, get them going downhill and try to get into the paint so you can still draw that contact, because there's a lot of guys in there, so you can still utilize your mismatches and draw the contact to get some fouls, which we've seen in the fourth quarter.
Freeman back out front now, 4:20 to go, fourth quarter, 28-27. Normal Community in front. Swinging around to Abby.
And a little update on Noah Cleveland. He's at the bottom of the bench now. I have a feeling he will not be returning today. It looks like he's icing his knee at the moment. I saw him trying to stretch it out there for a second.
Freeman on the drive, gets in on Weber. Whoa, nice finish that time by Braden Freeman. That's his first 2 points of the game here this afternoon. For the 6'6" junior, in Moline still has the lead at 29-28.
This is just back and forth basketball. You like to see it.
And a foul now on Olmsted for Moline. Trayvon Taylor has already gone to the bench with 4 fouls for the Maroons. They still have the lead, though. 29-28, 3:47 to go in the contest. Weber out front now over to Braylon Roman.
I think the Ironmen would have preferred if a foul wasn't called there. Connor Smith was open from 3 after Jaheim found him after being triple teamed.
Yeah, Abby got stuck on Jaheim Weber there, and they couldn't find Weber inside. Connor Smith now putting it on the deck, down inside, looked at a shot now, back out to Jaheim. Now to Braylon Roman. Over to Connor Smith. They continue to work the offense. Now to Nico Newsom. Nico looked at the shot from the outside.
Now Normal being patient.
Yeah, very patient.
That's something we've seen from Moline the whole game, so it seems like a little reverse psychology here.
Here we go, Dexter from
He
3.
can't for 3 out front,
Good
no
rebound.
good. Nice pass
Jaheim,
inside
there
to
we go.
Nico Newsom, who puts it home.
That's a big bucket right there, especially you got to attack the paint with Trey Taylor out. Looks like he's checking back in right now, but 4 fouls, and they have 14 fouls too. You got to get it in the paint, I feel.
I thought for a while it was going to be first team to 30 wins here today. Normal Community gets there first, but still 3:05 to go here in the contest. And believe it or not, in a 30-29 game, it seems like the pace has been higher in the second half. It hasn't been explosive scoring, but compared to the first half, it seems like we've had the game a little bit going up and down the floor.
Community has scored 18 points in the second half, which is 6 more than their 12 from the first half. And they're coming out with the same lineup that they just had before. Connor Smith, Braylon Roman, Nico at the small forward, Dex at the power forward, and keeping Jaheim in there. I don't think Noah's going to return, but this lineup seems to be really successful. And I love the ball movement right there. Jaheim could have decided to take those 2 defenders and just try to force one up, but he saw a wide open Nico. Great vision from Jaheim there, and Nico was able to put it down.
Our next game on the Inkspot will actually be Normal Community's first regional game. That will be about a week and a half or so. They're going to be taking on Manuka in the regional semifinal. If they win that, we will have the regional final as well. Here's a three-pointer on the way. No good that time for Moline, and Nico Newsom brings it down. Boy, Taylor looked like he had a wide-open shot inside and passed it up that time.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looked like he had an open lane. He kind of passed it up for the 3 ball. Seems like Community's making Moline a little uncomfortable. That's pretty uncharacteristic from him. Yep.
There we go.
Back out front now for Braylon Roman. Spin for Roman. Now finds Nico Newsom. Boy, Nico looked at it. Inside for Jaheim Weber. He lost the basketball. Boy, it's hard there because Jaheim's kind of planted on the one side. It really allows that weak side defense to be able to come over. Let's see if the Ironmen can get a swing of the basketball and get it inside. Looked like Nico also had a look from that three-point line right there, but Normal Community has really had an emphasis on pounding the ball inside here, especially in the second quarter into the second half.
Braylon Roman right now is on Trey Taylor, and Trey Taylor's trying to post him up, and Braylon just forced him out to the three-point line. Now they switched it over to Dex. I think being able to switch these guys on Trey Taylor has really kept him quiet tonight, and that's been a big reason why Community's got this lead.
We go under 2 minutes now, 1:56 to go here in the fourth quarter, 30-29. Normal Community has the lead in the lowest scoring game that Normal Community has played so far this year. We'll see how it finishes. The Ironmen have had some low-scoring games, especially on these Saturday games. They've had some low-scoring contests, but I don't think anything quite like this here against Moline this afternoon.
Yeah, this is a unique contest. Leaning to be a pretty exciting finish. Oh, that's a great shot to miss for.
They can't
for
leave that
Community,
guy
obviously.
open, though.
Not for him, but for Community, it's a great shot to miss.
McQueen has knocked down 5 threes, and he got a really good look. So now the Ironmen have the ball, a minute and a half to go. 30-29 our score, and we'll see if Community might think about sitting on this just a little bit. Niecamp's got the shot. Taylor's not going to come out to guard him. Dexter could probably stand there for the next minute or so. They foul Nico Newsom here. Nico's going to the line for 2 shots right now. Newsom is 2 for 3 from the free throw line here so far in the contest. But this is where that rule change comes into play big time, where you get 2 shots now on every foul. So let's see if Nico can knock down a couple right here.
Yeah, he's shooting 61% from free throw in the season, so this would be a great shot to knock down.
Be interesting to see, though, for Nico what his second half of the year numbers look like, because, boy, he was really struggling from the free throw line early. He's been really good as of late. Nico was probably sub 50% for a while, up to 67. He's really improved on that free throw stroke. Should have kept that to myself.
Yeah, just as we say that. When it seems to go in and out, it looked like it was in. Here comes the second one. See if Nico can knock it down.
That one splashes home. Nico now 3 out of 5. He is the first Ironman to reach double digits. He's got 10 points, 31-29 our score, 1:10 to go in the contest. Community has the lead, and Taylor out front now with the basketball. He's playing with 4 fouls.
This has been one of the strangest games of the year, but this might be one of the most exciting games I've watched this year.
Abby 3, no good. Picked out of there by Connor Smith.
Slow it down, slow it down. We love to see it.
Yep.
We're under a minute now, 53 seconds on the clock. The Ironmen will spread the floor. Braylon Roman
really
now out front.
Got to be really careful with their passes and stay patient, because a shot should not be taken by Community here, I would think. And I think that's what Witzig was telling his players.
And Connor Smith lost the ball out of bounds. It was tipped by the Maroons that time. Boy, I think the Ironmen might have gotten away with one.
Yeah.
As Normal Community still has plenty of timeouts, and we'll see if they decide to burn one if they get themselves in trouble. 31-29 our score here. As Weber was going to the rim, Niekamp struggling to get it in now to Connor Smith. Smith now back out front, 30 seconds to go in the contest. Moline comes to the trap. Again, Normal Community's got a timeout. They took it. Good job that time by the coaching staff. You know, it's a situation where you have timeouts. If you get yourself in trouble, burn that timeout. No live ball turnovers right here for the Ironmen, holding on to that 2-point lead.
Yeah, there probably wasn't a better time for a timeout than right there. I'm surprised he got that timeout off. That was a bit of a dicey possession for Community. Let's see if they can get it together here and finish out this game.
Well, if you've been doing this as long as Coach Witzig's been doing this, you station yourself right next to the official there that's on that far sideline. You're right in his ear so that he can hear you exactly what you want when you do want to call that timeout. Burned it at a wise time. It'll be interesting to see what is happening in Sean Taylor's huddle right now, what Moline's going to come out with. We've seen mostly man-to-man from the Maroons so far in this game. Do we see a half-court trapping zone? Do they come out pressure? Do they run and jump out of their zone? Out of their man-to-man? Be interesting to see what we're going to see out of Moline here coming out of this timeout.
And if they can't force the turnover, then the question becomes, when are they going to foul? They're down by 2, and once they foul, they take Community to the line, and Community's going to have 2 shots. Now, it's still pretty likely that one goes in and the other misses, and that's a 3-point game. But the question is, when do you decide to foul if we can get it in?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty quick here. I think you want to extend this game as much as you possibly can. You got to get the ball back, especially for a Moline team that has really struggled to score here in the contest. As we mentioned, only 13 points for the Maroons in the second half.
Connor looks to be
Good
open.
defense. You gotta throw it. Way to get it to Braylon.
Oh, it looks like it could have been over the back there. Connor Smith's holding on to it. Looks like he's getting fouled, and he does with 22 seconds left. The foul on Arthur Abbey.
Yeah, Connor did a really good job. You just need to establish both feet in the front court there. Did a really nice job of getting both of those feet in the front court before he touched the basketball. No over and back call, and now Connor finds himself at the free throw line here. First attempts for the junior at the free throw line here in the contest. He's got 7 points.
Shooting 67% on the season. Oh, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, missed the first one right there. Now with a chance to still extend this to a 3-point lead here for Normal Community, which is significant. Trying to hang on here this afternoon. It's been a low-scoring contest. Second free throw up, and he missed that one as well. Rebound pulled down by Freeman. 20 seconds on the clock now, and Moline has a chance to tie the game or win it, and Coach Sean Taylor will take a timeout. Well, if you're kind of looking down the board, though, for Moline here with the three-point shot, Marcus McQueen has been the guy for them so far today. He's knocked down 5 three-pointers. He has 15 of their 29 points. The three-point shot has not been a problem for Moline so far. They've knocked down 7. So if you're looking for the three, he's your guy. Freeman's only got 2 points in the contest, but then the guy with the most experience on the floor is Trayvon Taylor, who was a starter from a year ago.
Well, I'm thinking, so Moline, they're coached under Sean Taylor. Now, he's a coach that's had a lot of experience, and I think he's tried out a lot of things. And if I'm Sean Taylor, I think I'm going for the three-point, because it's very likely that these two teams will meet again in regionals at the end of regionals there. So I think he might just go for the win. It's really hard to know. He'll probably just go for whatever the open shot is. But I did see Trey Burdett just check in. Ben, you talked about that, how the Ironmen are probably going to keep Trey Burdett for later in the game. And here we are with 16 seconds to go, and Burdett's in.
This is that moment, 100%. And if you got to factor in, they played Quincy last night, back-to-back games. It kind of feels like they would probably want to go for the win here. And, you know, they've, like we said, they've been sparking it from 3 all day. I'm feeling like they probably want to hold it for the last shot and go for a 3 here for a game.
Yeah, we'll see if they settle for the best shot that they can get here. Normal Community now on the defensive end. Braylon Roman, Connor Smith out there, Nico Newsom, Dexter Niekamp, Trey Burdett out there for the Ironmen. Moline now with 11 on the clock. McQueen to Freeman with 10. Freeman with 8 now on the clock. Freeman with 6 on the clock. Freeman now with 5. Taylor on the drive with 2. Taylor now that's knocked away. Shot at the buzzer for the win. It's no good. Ball game over, and Normal Community has knocked off Moline. The final score here from Normal Community this afternoon. The Ironmen hold on to win 31-29. And definitely probably the most bizarre game that we have seen all year long. The Ironmen score 31 points in the game and figure out a way to win the contest. 31-29 the final score, as Moline had a shot that would have counted at the buzzer that I do believe hit the side of the backboard right there and bounced away. And the Ironmen get the win, 31-29 the final. Well, initial thoughts, I know both of you were kind of holding your breath when that ball was in the air. That game was on the line. It would have counted if it had gone in. So, Ben, let's start with you. Overall thoughts on the contest here this afternoon.
Whew, yeah, I definitely just exhaled a little bit when he missed that shot. That was, like you said, one of the strangest games of the year, but I loved it, honestly. That was a great basketball game in general. I mean, even though it was low scoring, I think it was a defensive masterclass, you know, very few fouls, and then until that fourth quarter, which was what I led into, is a coaching masterclass as well. You know, great job by Witzik, you know, really emphasizing the point of attack in that second half, you know, lineup changes, everything you want to see. You know, Trey Burdett, I think he's probably MVP of the game. That third quarter surge really put them over the hump there for the game. You know, it was just really exciting to see. Great win for Community, a very battle-tested team, both sides really. And, you know, that's a game that you know they could lose. That would probably not be a great one to lose for a Community, especially if you see them in sectionals, regionals. But that was just a great, strange game, great Saturday game for Community, and they came out with a dub.
Well,
so
Zach, you're an NBA guy. You like the 128, 126, 144, 142 shootout, Steph Curry from 30 feet. Your thoughts here on a 31-29 contest?
Well, right now I'm really stunned. That last play was insane. Nico Newsom, I think it was Nico that went for the steal there, and he actually left the guy open after he went for the steal.
I think Nico got a hand on the basketball and just fumbled it for a moment. It just kind of happened to land with the Maroons there, and they did get a look. It was rushed. I think there was about a half a second on the clock when he let that thing go.
I'm not sure. I think it was on time, but if it was, it wasn't. It was very, very close, and he definitely had to rush it up. But my thoughts on the game, so like you said, I am an NBA fan, but I'm also a college fan. I'm a basketball fan, and this was just a showcase of defense, and like Ben said, excellent coaching. I think this defensive showcase had a lot to do with the coaches that are in here. These are really experienced coaches that both have had over 500 career wins. So I think they knew this was going to be a big matchup and defense was going to be key, and they really honed in on it. And it was an excellent game from Community. I really enjoyed watching this one. A combined 60 points, which is Community's average for every game.
That's crazy.
So that's pretty insane. This is not a game that you'll see a lot in 2024, and I really had fun commenting on it, and wow, what a game. I'm a little speechless right now.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well. You kind of looked at the reaction of the two coaches, and you can tell they're veterans, and they know there are big contests coming up, and they also know that they could very easily see each other in a couple of weeks in the sectional. So Normal Community gets the 31-29 win here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the numbers. Nico Newsom led Normal Community with 10 points here this afternoon. Connor Smith had 7, Braylon Roman 6, 3 for Jaheim Weber, 3 for Noah Cleveland, 2 for Dexter Niekamp. But guys, you look at those numbers, Newsom, Smith, and Roman have 23 of the 31. So the guards for Normal Community were the key in scoring. Moline did an awesome job of shutting down the inside game for the Ironmen.
Yeah, I would say the guards really carried this game. I really loved that small lineup that they went with late in the third quarter. I think that got really high energy in the game. You know, it was just a great job getting them going downhill, and it showed that, you know, the guards, maybe I would say if there was a weakness on this community team, that's probably what you would say it was. Not like with Braylon Roman, the main ball handler, if you can get the ball out of his hands, that's kind of what teams have been trying to do. They've been trying to keep the ball out of his hands, and then there's been some question marks on what other teams, what other players can do. But players like Connor Smith, players like Trey Burdett, Nico Newsom, they've all stepped up today, and it was just a great team win for the Ironmen, and it really was a game that proved a lot of people wrong, I think. It was certainly a game that looked like Community might certainly lose because they were down 12-16 going into the second half. And, you know, that scoring we've seen that has been a problem for Community. So it was certainly a game that Community could have lost, but overall a great team win. They got all the Ironman fans pretty hyped.
Yeah, Marcus McQueen led Moline with 15, 6 for Arthur Abbey, 5 for Trey Taylor, 2 points for Braden Freeman, 1 point for Peyton Olmstead, total of 29. And how about Moline? They got 7 points between Taylor and Freeman and still just about won the game. So you can kind of see, boy, the Maroons did a great job of being patient on offense, really stingy on defense. Zach, what were your thoughts?
Well, Taylor and Freeman combined for about 30 of Moline. Sorry, I was thinking about saying Moline and Maroons at the same time. For the Maroons, average of 64 a game. So those are two players that usually combine for about half the points, and I think that really just speaks to Community's defense. They definitely watched their film. They knew what they were doing on defense, and they knew who they had to hone in on. And that's why I think McQueen did do a good job of knocking down threes, but he's also just a really excellent shooter because Community's defense, they were all over everybody, not letting a lot of shots be open. I saw a couple open shots from Moline the whole game, and I think Community was just ready to go. And this was exactly, they learned from their Metamora loss, which was because of pace, I think. They were really forcing a lot of stuff, forcing a lot of pace against Metamora and trying to go really fast. And they went with the flow in this game. When they needed to go a little faster, they did. But most of the time, they took their time, waited for the right shot. And on defense, they forced turnovers when they needed to. And besides that, they let Moline take some time and only put up 29 on the scoreboard tonight.
The Ironmen trailed Moline 8-5 after one. Moline led 16-12 at half. Normal Community took the lead after 3, 24-20. They hang on for a 31-29 victory. Again, our next Inkspot broadcast will be on February 21st. That's a Wednesday night. That will be the regional semifinal. Normal Community will take on Manuka. Not sure if we'll have the Rock Island Normal Community West game. After that, we'll let you know, but we'll also have the regional final then on February 23rd if the Ironmen do make the regional final, if they're able to knock off Manuka. On the other side, Moline's got East Moline United in the regional in a couple of weeks. Normal Community will take on Normal West next Friday. That will be at Normal West. Should be a good contest there. Moline finishes up their regular season with East Moline United and Rockford Jefferson next week. So a couple opportunities for Moline, and they're still battling it out for the Western Big Six Championship as well. They've got that conference game against East Moline United. That will be a big one. If you like the broadcast here this afternoon, hey, get to the Inkspot page. Look at all the articles the students have put out. Ben and Zach, anything you want to say about the articles right now on the Inkspot page here before we sign off?
Yeah, so I just posted an article about 5 takeaways against the Metamora game, and I think that's why I'm really impressed with Community's win here because they did a lot of things differently in that Metamora game, so give that a read. You'll kind of compare it to how they played it today in Moline. And I would like to talk a little bit about the next opponent against West. West is 10-17. They're 3-5 in the Big 12, which is good for 6th in the Big 12. 6-5 at home, so that will be a home game for West, and they do have a winning record at home. They Community beat West this year 57-54, but we did have a 15-point lead and almost blew it, so that should be a really good game. It usually always is. Even though West isn't having the greatest year, they're always a challenge for Community. And looking at a couple players for West, Nate Moore, he's averaging 15 a game with 2 steals, shooting 35% from downtown. Isaiah Robinson, 8 points, 4 assists a game, and senior Taylor Hafferman, 7 points and 6 rebounds. Those 3 players are all seniors and the leaders of that club. So that should be a great game Friday, February 16 at 7 p.m. at West.
Yeah, and it's also a game where West could really make their entire season by upsetting Normal Community in that final game of the year. Ben, any thoughts on the Inkspot? Anything you got right now posted or things that you see right now on the Inkspot website?
Yeah, I love the previews from Jeffrey Woodard every week. Those are always great previews to read, obviously. And, you know, the 5 takeaways from Zach, I think that was a great read, honestly. I really enjoyed watching that. I agreed with a lot of what he said. You know, if there was a takeaway from tonight's game, like, I kind of think that this is like a halftime game almost. Because, like we said, it's like half their scores. I think these teams, if, like you said, they could definitely see each other again. If they see each other again in the sectionals, this will definitely be another great matchup. Because even though Community obviously came out with the win, I think there's a lot of unfinished business on this court. You know, it came right down to the wire. Like we said, a very strange game. So if they see each other in sectionals, I think it'll be a great matchup like we've seen over the years.
Yeah, certainly will, and that is a possibility, but the Ironmen are going to have some tough matchups in the regional. Minooka and then the winner of Normal Community West and Rock Island will not be easy to find themselves in that Pekin sectional. Once again, our final score here this afternoon, Normal Community 31 and Moline 29. I'd like to say a big thank you to the guy who really does all the work for us, Brad Bovenkirk. He gets us on the live stream, does all the camera work, and really is rock solid for us the entire season. So a big thank you to him. He really makes everything happen. 31-29, Normal Community a winner here this afternoon. For Zach Knox-Doyle and Ben Kerber, I'm Joel Swanson saying so long from Normal Community High School.